Are you working with someone you can't stand? We've all been there. Working with people I want to punch in the throat has been called relatable and laugh out loud hilarious. Read the stories about all the crazy people Jen Mann has worked with over the years. Find out who she wants to punch in the throat. Working with people I want to punch in the throat is now available everywhere books are sold.
Hi, welcome to Two Midlife Mommas.
I'm Jen Mann.
And I'm Denise Grover-Swank.
This is confusing me. We've switched up our order. You used to always go first.
I know.
And so I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to say something. So.
Yeah, well, and I think I used to say we're two midlife mamas, not welcome.
I think, yeah.
I had our little, spiel, and it's been so long, I forgot it.
Oh, wow. New year, new podcast intro.
That's right.
But it just might take us a few minutes to get used to it.
Yeah, right? So if you hear some awkward silence, that's just us going, what are we supposed to say now?
It's just us raising our eyebrows at each other like, yeah, no, you. We're way too polite, too. Like, we don't want to talk over each other, so we're like, no, you start. No, you go.
Exactly.
Oh, goodness.
So well, it's a whole new year, 2020.
I can't even believe it.
It's just so strange to me, right?
No.
20s are the roaring 20s. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's not now. So, I saw a thing about 2020 for, business stuff, legal stuff, that you shouldn't, when, we just shorten it to the two numbers at the end. I almost said letters. I'm running on, 3 hours sleep, y'all, so... I'm chugging a coffee. Son got me while we were recording the last one. But you should put 2020, because if you just put 20, then someone could put another year behind it. They could put 2017. So on a legal document.
They could backdate it?
Yeah, they could backdate it.
Oh.
So my daughter was because I wrote a check. My washing machine broke.
So did mine.
Yeah, so I had to write a check for the repairman the other day, and I put 20, and then I remembered, you're supposed to put 2020. Although, as Jenna said, she goes, why would it matter on a check I'm like, I don't know.
That's, I guess, my confusion, too, is, if someone backdates my
But I think it's more legal documents, because, when I sign contracts, I don't put 2019.
No, I didn't
just
either.
Put 19.
But then my daughter pointed out to me the other day, because we were talking about this too, because it was it's a big topic on TikTok if you're 13, this whole 2020 thing.
Okay.
And but she was saying though that in the 19s, 2019, it was hard too, because people were doing it they were making it 1980. And
I had never heard
and
that.
So I was I didn't hear that.
So it's really no big deal.
I don't know. I told her, I was like, Australia's burning. Let's worry about that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah. So I saw a thing this weekend. So I've been knitting. I've been finger knitting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so it's I've gotten all crafty and all of a sudden. And so I saw this thing on Facebook where people are knitting and crocheting and sewing little pouches for the kangaroos and stuff. So I joined that craft group. Now,
cool.
Will I make anything? No. But I'm my youngest daughter, who's in 6th grade, took a sewing class in school last quarter, and so I'm she really enjoyed making this pillow. I'm well, she might be able to make some of that simple stuff.
Yeah,
and then she's actually doing something, and
because I think right now, I don't know about you, but I feel very helpless.
Yeah, other than donate money, what is there to do?
Yeah, so I think that's great if you can make little pouches for kangaroos.
I know, right? I know. There's a little bat one, and it's a little bat pouch, and there's these little tiny bats that go inside there, and I'm oh my gosh, that's so. I'm not usually a bat fan, but yeah.
We have one that lives on our porch, and I do love her. So
they eat so many bugs. Bats get a bad rap.
They do. So. She poops a lot out there. I have to sweep every day, but we don't have any mosquitoes or spiders. So
that's great.
I like her. She's been around for about 15 years living on my porch.
Wow.
As long as she stays on the porch, we call her Bat Trisha, and as long as she stays on the porch and doesn't come in my house, I'm fine with her.
Oh, that's great. Well, when we were in Australia, so I went to a book signing in Australia. Oh golly, 4 years ago now?
Oh wow.
We went for 3 weeks. So I took my kids, my 3 youngest kids, and I took my friend Trisha, and because she was my babysitter while I was signing. And we went to New Zealand, and then Melbourne, and Sydney, and Brisbane, and then Cairns. And that's where the Great Barrier Reef is. But in Cairns, in they have this tree by this library where all the bats fly off at dusk.
Oh.
And so we went and saw that, and and they're big. They're like huge bats.
Yeah,
so
bet Trisha is very small.
Yeah.
She's not that big.
It was really cool, but it's a little freaky.
Yeah,
so,
like go to that bridge in Austin. Have you ever been there?
No, I've never been there,
Yeah,
but I've
cool.
heard. Yeah,
yeah,
so.
it's crazy.
So yeah, since we've been to Australia, and and when we were in Brisbane, we drove up into we rented a car and drove up into the mountain and saw the forest, and so like this makes me sick to think of all that burning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yes, me too.
So anyway, that totally got us off topic.
It did. I'm sorry.
That was my fault. I picked up a thread and ran with it, and it was like not in the right direction. I'm gonna blame it on lack of sleep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Okay. So well, our topic is resolution.
Do you make resolutions?
I used to, but I don't anymore. So, I'm in this group, Paranormal Women's Fiction, there are 12 other authors, and we're all releasing these paranormal women's fiction. So, I'm trying to like post in there. So on January 1st, I have Magnolia Steele, kind of her catchphrase for that series is "Some things are better left in the past."
Yeah.
So I was drinking out of that mug, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like perfect for like the first day of a new year. So I posted that in there, and I asked people if they did resolutions and words. And so, I used to do resolutions, but I never, ever followed through with any of them.
No.
Past like a week or two.
No.
Like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and I'm going to start running a mile a day. And no.
Well, it's funny because I used to try to do, I used to have like the big ones, like, I'm going to lose 30 pounds this year or something like that. And last year, I think it was, I'm going to hang up my coat. And I couldn't even do that. So, like, no, like, and my daughter, she's 13, and the first day she came down, I have a treadmill in my office because I was going to walk more, and I was going to work at my walking desk and all this kind of stuff. And so she came down to get on my treadmill and started running on my treadmill. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, this is my New Year's resolution. But she's hilarious because she goes, I'm only going to run 5 minutes a day. And I was like, 5 minutes a day? And she's like, yes, baby steps, Mom. She's like, next month I'll do 6.
There you go.
And I was like, okay. You know what? She has done her 5 minutes a day every day. So
wow.
So maybe little things work.
5 days into the year yesterday. Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, and that's what, so like, I talked about doing that Write Better, Faster course.
Yeah.
And that's what Becca says is do things just a little bit at a time. Just introduce things slowly and work your way up. Otherwise, it'll be too overwhelming and you won't do it.
Yeah.
So I think that's New Year's resolutions is,
I think it's hard because you make these huge, ideas. And then, but even me was simple. And so this year I decided I was just going to do a word.
Yes, and that's what I've done the last 3 years.
I'm going to try to live by my word and do it that way.
Yes.
Even that. I don't know. We'll see.
So when did you, this is your first year to pick a word?
This is, yeah.
Okay. So how did you come up with your word? Did it just come to you? Like I actually saw like lists going around and people like pick a word from a list. And,
Well, there was like, I saw, or look at this thing and the first 3 words that pop out at you, or your words or whatever. No, I think my word came really from my husband because he's always on me that I'm not grateful enough, that I'm not, that like, I don't know if you know, but I'm always kind of pissed off. And so I'm always a little irritated about stuff. And so, and like, I feel like I'm fucking grateful, like, but he feels like I'm not. And so he was just like, he's like, you're grateful for like the big things. He's like, you're really good with like big things, but you're not very good with like little things. And so, so I'm trying, like he told me that every morning he wakes up and he's like, thank you for like getting me, like that we're all alive this morning. And I was like, well, no shit. Like,
it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I was like, hello, like my day would suck if we weren't. Duh, of course I'm grateful. And so, I'm grateful that, my son brought me my coffee this morning, whatever it is. And so I'm trying to be more, I think it's kind of a whole bunch of things because I think grateful also kind of goes with like being present too. Like, that I have to be grateful. You have to be present to be grateful. Like I have to notice those little things. Like I can't just take it for granted that like, you know, my daughter comes down and runs in my office every day for 5 minutes and we have a nice conversation. And I'm grateful that we have that conversation. You know, it's like that kind of thing. Like I stop working, you know, I'm not just like, oh God, I'm trying to do something here. Running.
Right.
So
you're like, you look forward to her coming and talking to you.
Yeah. So
is that when she gets home from school?
Well, today's the first day back to school.
Okay.
So we'll see.
So you haven't done the whole grateful thing since. Yeah.
I'm grateful they went to school today.
Yes. Mine too.
But yeah, so I don't know. And then just everything, you know, there was a video that came out, I don't know, a few years ago at Christmas. It was put out actually by a church, but it was like, this guy wakes up, it was about gifts. And he wakes up and like in the morning he wakes up and he's wrapped in wrapping paper.
I saw that this year.
And he tears himself out of wrapping, and then he tears, you know, wrapping paper off of his faucet of clean water that runs in his home. And, you know, he's like, oh my God, this like
things I take for granted.
Right. He's like, I turn it on, I turn it off, it works. Holy crap, you know. And so I don't think he said that because it was church, but you know what I mean. And so praise the Lord. But I think that like it's like that kind of thing. Like I'm trying to be more like that, where you know, where I am trying to be more grateful about things rather than just taking everything for granted and being pissed off that my Amazon is late. I should be grateful that Amazon is bringing me stuff.
Yeah, Amazon and I were not friends. Delivery, we're not friends in December when I was doing the whole book order thing. Yeah. So, oh man.
We're not grateful.
They would say on their form, it will be, you know how they say, will be delivered by Tuesday by 9 p.m. And they would say, and then on Tuesday it would say, it now will be delivered by Thursday. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. So.
My favorite is, we're sorry, your order's running late. You know, like, please check back. And you're like, what?
Yeah. No, I wasn't grateful for that.
So that's what I mean by like gratitude. Just trying to be more present and aware and thankful for things that I take for granted.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah. So this year I did a word because I've done a word for the last 3 years. And I realized like New Year's Eve that I hadn't picked a word yet. So I really just thought about kind of like where I'm at in my personally and professionally and like what I feel like I need to work on. And that's what because like a couple years ago I did balance and that was really, really good. Like I really kept that word all year long and I really gave it a lot of thought and it made me strike more balance so that I was working less and being present more with my children because that was a real problem. Like I would be like, oh, like I have a deadline. And so that's kind of like, I'm always got a deadline, right? Yeah. I came to realize that there is always a deadline that I'm trying to race to meet. And I can't put my entire life on hold to meet deadlines all the time. So that word really helped. But like this past year, like with sales and stuff, I feel like I've faltered a bit. And so like, I'm a huge comparer. Like I'm very driven and I compare myself to other people and it's part of my personality trait that I learned in Write Better Faster. And like I have imposter syndrome, that's part of my personality trait. But Becca tells me that's actually not a bad thing, that I can harness that. I can harness that for good. Anyway, so this year I decided that, you know, I actually have a lot of, and this is kind of like our thing we did about owning our success. So like I you know, I've got a lot of great things and I need to be content with what I have. It doesn't mean that I can't strive for more, but I need to like take something that's given to me or something that I've, you know, worked hard to get. And instead of saying, oh, well, I didn't do this, I need to be content and I need to sit in that contentment of that accomplishment and and appreciate it more. Kind of like be grateful.
I was just gonna say that was part of it too, because my husband's like, you're never happy where you are with your business. Like you're always looking at someone else and going like, oh, but like if only I could have done this. And he's like,
I do that all the time.
And there are people out there are other writers out there that would like
kill to be where we're
our
at.
Numbers, you know. And so
I know that that makes me feel terrible. And
so he's like, you take it for granted. Like, you know, he lists all these things. He's like, you take all this for granted. He's like, when you've done this, like, be grateful that you have this. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah, but you work your butt off to get where you're at, right?
But I think that's the contentment part and the owning. Like, balance. Oh my God, we're back to balance. Yeah. Because it's like, because seriously, like you have to be content, but you have to be driven, but you have to own your success, but you have to like use that to power you and move you forward. Right. You know, but then you need to be content. But
right. Exactly.
So it's like, you gotta have that balance. And so I think it brings us all back to balance. I think ultimately, again, our words are balance.
I think you're right.
Everyone's words should just be balance, and then it would be better. Like when you said balance, I was like, oh, that's the best word because it encompasses it all.
Yeah, right? Well, usually, like, every year I would do, like, a professional goal.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have a goal for the year. And I haven't really done that in the last couple of years. But, like, the year I hit the USA Today list, I'm like, I'm going to hit the USA Today list this year. And what do I need to do to make that happen?
Engineer that backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but I haven't really done the goals lately. I've just done the words. And, yeah, I just feel like contentment is something I definitely need to work on.
That's good.
Yeah.
The other thing I read today was, which is funny because it's always on my list, was that Americans are obsessed with hydration. That our goal this year is to drink more water.
Yes, we are.
Which is funny because it is always on my list.
Well, it's funny because, like, when I went to Europe, every time I go to Europe, people don't carry around water bottles like we do. And it's rare to see people, like, having a water bottle that you buy.
Yeah.
You know, they buy, like, the big ones of, like, Evian that they use at dinner or whatever. Yeah, but, like, it was really hard to stay hydrated when I was in Europe.
Well, it was just weird because I do have like 15 like bottles of, on my desk at all times that I'm not drinking out of.
Right?
I'm still drinking tea and coffee, and I'm not drinking my water.
Yeah.
So
well, here's my water bottle.
Hers is on the floor.
For our one viewer on YouTube.
I don't even have one today.
I said it. It's kind of noisy for the podcast.
Yeah. And I just think that, like, it was funny to read it because I thought I was the only person who put that on my list. Because I was like, surely everybody gets enough water. I surely am the only person who doesn't.
I know last year I did a thing of, like, kind of like positive, I can't remember, something we needed to work on, like in my readers group, and a lot of people said they needed to drink water more. I think it's how to get healthier in 2019, and water was a huge thing.
Well, and it's stupid because I always feel better when I drink water, so I don't know why I don't do it.
Well, and I was like drinking a lot of water like before Thanksgiving, and then I realized like last week that I had not even drank a full thing of water, and it was like evening.
Yeah. My thing is just the peeing. I'm like, if I could figure out a way for me to drink water and only still pee twice a day.
Although, like, when I drink a lot of water, it seems like to balance it out. Like, when I first start, then I'm peeing all the time.
Oh,
and then it seems to find a balance, and I'm not peeing as much as I was before. My body's like, whoa, abort, get this water out of here.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of what else I've done on my resolutions list. So I've not hung up my coat this year. I failed miserably at that. I did okay with water in spurts. And then sometimes, are you still doing your keto diet?
No, okay, I gave that up for Thanksgiving because I love me some dressing. Yeah. And I only get that once a year. So, and then it was Christmas, and then it's hard, like when my kids are all home because they're not doing keto, and so I'm cooking 2 different meals. Like during the day, it's easy because like I'm not getting them lunch, and I can do my keto and my breakfast, and then at dinner I can just So I haven't.
So will you go back to that, or will you kind of moderate? Balance, baby.
Balance. Yeah. No. Today I decided I was gonna do I'm just gonna start low carb because I was like, okay, I gotta eat something. Today's the day I was supposed to get back on the train, the diet train. But so I'm like, okay. So and it makes a difference because if I'm doing keto, then I eat eggs a lot for breakfast. So I use the yolks. But if I'm not, then I don't use yolks. So I'm like, okay, well I'll try low carb today. And so I had eggs, which were really good, but then I was hungry because I've gotten used to eating all the time. So over Christmas, and I was really tired, and I was feeling that sluggish kind of bad when you're really like sleep deprived, because I'm running on 3 hours sleep, and I made myself a pancake. I wanted to have like an English muffin with peanut butter or something, but my daughter ate the last one, and the bread was all bad. I don't have any good bread, and so I was like, I just want some carbs. So I have pancake mix. So I made myself one pancake.
I didn't even know you could make a pancake. Like, how big was this pancake?
Well, it's pretty big. So I have pancake mix that you can, like, I've reduced the recipe down because I make my son pancakes every morning if he wants them. So it's still really no big deal because, like, I can literally make his pancake in 5 minutes. So,
okay.
So it's half a cup of the pancake mix to a third a cup of water. So
there you go.
Yeah,
because I was gonna say if I make pancakes, it's like 15 pancakes.
Yeah, I know.
Pancakes for days.
So I've cut that. I know how to cut that recipe down.
Well, I made the mistake of buying my daughter a bunch of stuff to bake with. She decided she wants to bake this year, and so last night at like 8:00, she's like, "I want to make cookies." I'm like, "We still have cookies, like
let's eat
you
those.
made before Christmas."
Yeah.
She's like, "I I know, but I'm going to make these other cookies.
See, I love to bake, and then my children don't eat it.
Oh,
and then I like got
gosh.
all this baked goods. And
That's
so,
kind of,
yeah.
I mean, we are drowning in
Genius.
baked goods.
Yeah.
So I was eating cake pops last night at like 10 o'clock.
Oh, I would be.
but then it gave me heartburn. And so I was like, see, this is why I should drink more water and just stick to my dang, not that I'm on a diet, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
You just know, like,
you're like, okay, you just had enough. You don't need those carbs or
right,
sugar.
Like common sense tells you not to eat a cake pop at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. No, you know.
So this morning we noticed though that like a bunch of them were missing, and so we were like, "What happened to the cake pops?" And we think she took them to school for lunch. Because my kids pack their own lunches, and I think that's what she packed for lunch. I think she packed herself cake pops, so she better run 6 minutes today on her treadmill.
Oh, there you go. Right? Yeah. Well, my kids like to bake. They love to watch the Great British Bake Off.
Oh, you guys make croissants?
Yes, we make croissants.
I saw it on your feed.
So the kids have been wanting to do that for like over a month, but we knew it was an overnight process. And my son, who doesn't live with us, loves to bake too. So this is like our fun thing. So we knew we were going to be at the lake for 10 days. So we're like, okay, we're going to do it then. So it has to sit in the fridge for like literally 12 hours. You're supposed to get it out 12 hours later. So we started making croissants on Friday night at 10 o'clock.
Right?
And then we realized, we need wax paper we didn't have. So like I'm at Walmart at 11 o'clock at night buying wax paper. And my children were watching me. Like they're to the point where they need the wax paper, and they're watching me on Find My on the phone. Like, so where is she? Oh, she's on the highway.
Someone's here.
But yeah, it turned out
they looked amazing.
They were like more amazing than I expected. Yeah, they
should have made a
really,
croissant
really
this
good.
morning instead of a pancake.
No, well, I didn't. I would have had to start
12 hours.
that 2 days ago.
I was gonna say, but then that'll stop you from wanting carbs though, because you have to wait 12 hours.
I know, right? I know. It's like I'm like. Well, it might be one of those things where you just like always are like making croissants, and like one batch only makes 6 of them. So, but they're huge.
They were really big.
Yeah, they were really big.
How do you? Is it a dough? I assume.
Yes.
And then you just have to let it chill. But then how do you form it into the croissant?
Okay, so like you have to like this recipe that we had was a YouTube video which showed us every step of the way.
Yeah.
And you have to have European butter because it has a higher fat content, and you roll it into a 7 by 7 inch square. And then you make a bigger square of the dough after you've let it sit 12 hours. I think that was right. I think we did the dough butter the next. Anyway, and then you fold it in like corners in on it, and then you let it sit, and then you roll it out, like very carefully roll it out, and then you fold it in on each other and let it sit, and then roll it out, and then you've got this rectangle, and then you cut them. I can't remember how you did it, but yeah, so like you have this rectangle, and then every 4 inches you cut a line across, and
and then you roll.
Yeah. And then we got 6
That sounds
of
like
them.
a lot of work.
It was a ton of work. Yeah.
No wonder croissants are so expensive.
Yeah, but I'm like, I could become a pastry chef if this book gig doesn't work out.
I tell you what, they looked amazing. I was impressed because my daughter wants to make macaroons, and I'm like, no.
We've done that too.
Like that looks like way
it's a lot of work. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it takes a lot of practice to figure out the edges have to be just right. So yeah. But I will confess, my children spent more. I was a kind of an active participant or a bystander on that one. Like I was watching what they were doing, but kind of like too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing.
Literally.
Yeah. Get out of here.
No. Yeah, she kicked me out because she decides that she's a better cook without me, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine with me because I don't want to have to do it.
Yeah.
I'll just eat your cake pops when you're done.
Yeah.
But and then I'm trying to think what else that I've put on my list in the past that I've not accomplished.
Exercise is always, when I was doing resolutions, it was always exercise and eat healthier or something like that.
Yeah,
and,
that's why I finally downgraded to just drink water because I was failing so much at like no carbs and no sugar because it's like I don't know. I can't do any of those things. It was funny because there were a few years ago I went on some radical diet where you ate like 500 calories a day, and I did it starting the first of the year, which was really stupid of me, but I did it. And just last night we saw an ad for it on TV, and my husband was like, "Oh, isn't that the one you did?"
Is it intermittent fasting?
No,
because I keep seeing everybody talking about that.
My husband does that,
okay,
and he really likes that, and it keeps his weight. I don't feel like he loses; it just keeps him steady. Like he's happy where he's at. But he does that. But no, it's like, I don't know. It's one of those, advertisements where they show the people with the giant pants and then they all, they fit into small pants.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed off. Like, I mean, so angry. Those 2 months I was on that diet.
Ugh.
And I was like, oh, that diet where I wanted to murder everybody? And he was like, yeah. I was like,
don't do that.
I don't want to do that diet again. Like, I was like, I would have killed you for like a sucker. Like, you couldn't have sugar, you couldn't have fat, you couldn't have carbs. Like, I mean, I was drinking like water and like lettuce. I mean, it was just the most depressing thing in my life.
Well, and I get to a point where it's like, okay, do you really want to live life without all this good stuff? Like, surely there's like balance and moderation.
See?
Like, you can have the sugar, but the thing is like when I go off sugar and I go back on sugar, I can tell. Like, when I'm off sugar, I'm not craving it, but once I get one taste of it, I'm like craving it. And like yesterday, I could tell I was going through this whole yo-yo of I want something sweet, I want something salty, and I like all day long. And I was like writing, and like that's the worst for me for dieting. Like when I'm pushing a deadline, it's almost like food is motivation for me. Like. Especially late at night, like food's what keeps me awake.
When I wrote my first book, I gained like 15 pounds because to me, food is motivation and rewards. Like I'd be like, if you finish this, you can have, whatever you want because you work so hard.
I know, right? Yeah. So it was crazy. Like at 1 a.m, I'm eating chips. I'm like, what are you doing? Trying to stay awake.
Wait, it's easy because I'm like M&Ms. They won't gum up my keyboard. Oh. That's my thing. I'm like Cheetos. That doesn't work.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. With the whole potato chip crumbs and greasy fingers. Like, no wonder I got crumbs in my keyboard. Yeah.
So now I'm just trying to do the whole balance, the moderation thing. Try to think about my water. Just be, I don't know, intentional in all things this year.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
And just kind of be present and have, like, think to myself, like, what is the goal of this? Like, why am I doing this? I think that's the main thing. Is like, why am I eating potato chips at 1 o'clock in the morning? Right. Yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm on a deadline. But why am I on a deadline at 1 o'clock in the morning, Jen?
Yeah.
What did you do? Why did you procrastinate? Because that was the other thing. I haven't read the article yet, but I keep seeing these articles about procrastination, how it's really like a mental health problem. Like it's not it's not just people being lazy or whatever, which I'd love to think I have some sort of diagnosis.
I know, right? There's a reason for it.
Wait, I'm not just a lazy asshole. But I want to read that because maybe that's something we can talk about too at another time.
Procrastination.
But I think that
I'm the queen of it.
Oh,
I'll wear my tiara that day.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's why we're up at 1 o'clock in the morning eating chips, finishing our deadline, exhausted, like mad at ourselves. Like what is that about? Yeah. So I'm curious to read that and see what the doctors have to say because I think maybe I have a problem and it's not just me.
Yeah. Another topic we could talk about is anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I am so much more anxious than I was 10 years ago. Yeah.
And is it because, is it the world is making us more anxious? Like we know too much now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is the world just like a scarier place? Like are we... I don't know.
I actually my daughter has, her teacher told her a theory that she has about that. We'll save that for, we can even talk about anxiety and procrastination together. Because I think the two go hand in hand.
Yeah, probably. So, Oh, definitely. Mine is all about fear of failure.
Yes.
Like, that I don't want to start this because I might mess it up.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's like that with me with books too. Yeah. So
I'm just writing it down because we also have brain fog, and if we don't write it down, we'll forget it.
Yeah, I had some ideas because Jen's usually the idea person, and I had some ideas for today. I was really proud of myself, and then I could only remember one, and it was this one, and she already had that, of course.
Well, it is the first of the year. Resolutions are an easy one.
Yeah.
So I guess what we want to know is we want to hear from you guys and tell us if you have resolutions or do you do a word or do you just say, fuck it, I don't care. I'm just doing what I want to do. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Tell us.
I'm perfect as I am.
Right. Well, okay, so last night I watched the Golden Globes.
Yes.
And, oh God, now I can't think what his name is. See, brain fog. The guy who, what's his name? He won an award last night for his best screenplay. He did that screenplay about with Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. He's done that movie Pulp Fiction. It was the movie he did. I can't think what
Quentin Tarantino.
That's Tarantino,
yeah.
Quentin Tarantino. So last night he wins for the best screenplay. And he got up there and he's like, normally you get up here and you thank people because you do this as a team, but I did this all myself. And I was like, damn.
This was all me.
I did this all myself. I was like, that dude has some confidence. Like, all right. So,
Good for him, right?
I was like, he's owning it.
Yeah.
And so my guess is Quentin Tarantino does not make resolutions.
I would suspect he does not.
So if you are part of Quentin's group and you don't make resolutions, tell us why not.
Yeah,
and,
we want to find your confidence.
Yeah. But if you do make resolutions or you have words, let us know. Leave us a comment, send us an email, and let us know.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right.
Well, I think we've done another episode.
We have.
Yeah, I don't even know how many. We're in the 20s now for episodes.
I know.
So, look at us go.
We are like crazy town.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hi, Denise here. I know you're sad because the podcast episode is over, and now you have to wait an entire week to hear us again. But guess what? You don't have to wait. You can listen to one of our audiobooks. Like to listen to true crime podcasts? I've got several mystery series to choose from. Or maybe you prefer to listen to podcasts about The Bachelor. Check out one of my rom-com series. You can find these audiobooks and many more at Audible, Apple Audiobooks, or check out my website, denisegroverspank.com, and click on audiobooks in the menu at the top. Happy listening!